Hey, John.
All right, good morning.
Hey, John and Jim.
Good
Hello.
morning. I was trying to join here and it was kept giving me waiting for the host.
Yeah, that's what I kept getting. So
Okay.
you can ignore the email that I just sent.
Yeah, I sent one too, Jim. But probably the same wording. Um, all right, I think we're in good shape. It looks like the people that are going to join have joined. Okay. All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another NJ GMIS coffee event. I'm John Tugman. I'll be moderating this meeting. As an introduction, eMazzanti will be presenting this morning. The company has developed AI capabilities, works with many townships, counties and municipalities throughout New Jersey, provides Microsoft Copilot training inexpensively. So that's a service that they provide that you could consider. Uh, Carl Manzenti will be presenting. He'll be joined by two of his staff. Uh, One individual, a woman named Gabby, and another individual named Jimena, I mean. They'll be presenting this morning. Primarily, Carl will be leading the presentation. One of the things they'll speak to that the company has developed that they can, demonstrate or provide to a community is Emma, which is a chatbot help desk service that they've put together. One thing I'll mention as an aside, here in Morris County, we're working on a chatbot capability as well. We learned uh, through experience working with Microsoft Copilot that when Copilot provides the response to the user, how do I log into the network, et cetera, which would be the IT help desk. It also provides the artifacts and backup information for that answer that's being delivered to the user. So the chatbot will answer the question, but also provide the user with all the background information. Now, that's something that I did not want to have happen. I'm talking to Microsoft now, and it appears that in Copilot, that feature cannot be disabled or turned off. They have reasons, good reasons, I will mention, for doing what they're doing. They're a major corporation, international. They've received pushback on some of their AI services and some of the responses that their AI services have provided. So to prevent, additional legal matters from occurring, et cetera, they're also providing the backup data for the answers that their AI services provide. I told Microsoft, I get all that. I understand it completely. However, I don't need to give my user war and peace for a problem they're having. They just want to log into the darn network. They don't need a ton of background on two-factor security and all that happiness. So, in any case, that's our issue here in Morris County. We'll continue to, chip away at that. And if necessary, I've told Microsoft I will abandon Copilot and we'll continue with the polymorphic chatbot solution that we were developing initially that does not provide the background or the artifacts supporting the answer. But that's a story for another day. With that, let me turn this over to Carl and Gabby, et cetera, that will continue the presentation, and hopefully folks walk away with understanding or learning something, and possibly Carl and eMazzanti could help provide you a solution for your business or for your community that would help you reduce costs and perform the services more effectively and efficiently. With that, let me introduce Carl Manzenti. Carl? I hope Carl's here. I don't see Carl. I see Jim, I see Gabby. Yeah, no, I don't.
Hey, John, I'm here.
Yes, I
Not
know.
sure. I think he's coming on. Let me just see. I've teamed them here.
Okay. Thank you.
You are very welcome. Thank you for inviting us here on here.
Not a problem. He might be having the same challenges I had trying to join the meeting.
To get in?
Yes.
Okay.
John, I checked with Chris. She said you were supposed to sign into Zoom and start the meeting. I ended up doing it because nobody had started it yet.
Oh, I wasn't sure whether I was starting it or not, Bob, but
No worries. We got it started.
no, I understand. I'm just concerned that I was just speaking with Carl, so he should be available. I was speaking to him a half hour prior to this meeting, about 8:30. On a Teams call.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't want to hold your meeting up. I could just start a little bit and tell you a little bit about. I mean, you guys know about eMazzanti, right? And that we help companies accelerate their productivity. So we improve the cybersecurity, modernize their operations with the power of Microsoft Copilot. I use Copilot heavily, and I use it because I do a lot of bids, right, for a lot of different townships, and there are so many different things that you can use Copilot for to do workups. But what people tend to think is that Copilot is the answer all for everything. It is and it isn't. You do have to have a brain in order to use Copilot, because someone has to put information in. Where the problem comes in with Copilot is that people go and they start to put in, hey, write me a proposal for XYZ. The proposal comes up, they take that proposal at face value without doing the research, without even putting in pertinent information that makes it what it needs to be. So you do have to have a brain. You do have to be able to put certain information into the system in order to use Copilot. A lot of the townships and things, we try to help them mitigate their workload through Copilot, because it will help the clerk especially get through a lot of things. So as we're one of Microsoft's top partners, we guide our clients through every step of their AI journey, from readiness and licensing to deployment, governance, and day-to-day support. So we do a lot with empowering workforce with the Microsoft Copilot, and it does transform the way that people work. AI is transforming the way that people work. So inside the tools that you use every day, like Outlook, Teams, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Windows, Edge, and everything that Microsoft has, you can fix those services to literally cover the that you do from day to day. Now, there's two toggles on Microsoft Copilot. There's a toggle where it's work, and then there's another toggle where it's web. When you do something on the work, it pulls from all the different commodities or sources of entities and work that you work all day long, like all the different things that you do every day. And if you've done something, it learns you and it helps you. Let me see. I wonder if I can. There's also a couple other things, like if you get a bid or something, you can open up your Copilot, and I'm going to start sharing my screen in a minute if I can, and I'm going to just show you what I do in Copilot while we wait for Carl to come on.
Okay.
So I'm just going to tell you, our Copilot services, they include the readiness assessment that first evaluates your Microsoft 365 environment, your security, your posture, your licensing, and your data access to help ensure that you meet the requirements that enables the Copilot. So we also identify the risks, your permission issues, and opportunities for workflow automation. With the Copilot licensing and procurement of the optimization, as long as there's a standing Microsoft partner, we can streamline licensing and help you select the right SKUs and ensure that you pay for what you need. A lot of times we go to a lot of townships and we realize that they're paying more than what they need, or companies. You're using Exchange, but you have a business standard license. What is that? Well, Exchange, you don't need that. Mail is already in your standard license. And so we help you with the budgeting on that to ensure that your budgeting is on point. It's another feature that we have. We handle everything required to safely turn Copilot on, from permissions, data governance, a SharePoint cleanup, which a lot of people need. If they don't, then we do also do SharePoint migrations, and then therefore you don't need to clean up because we'll help you put everything in there in a seamless way. So, and that also includes administrative settings, safe rollout practices, and user onboarding. Also from Copilot, as you know, we do master classes, and that can be seen on our website. So on our website, there's a top toggle that says master class, Copilot master classes, but there's also a ton of other master classes that you could take there. These are all free to you. I encourage anybody who goes on to any of our master classes to ask every and any question that you have with regarding to it, so that you can get your head around the services and how it works. But once you start, honestly, you can't turn back. Because once you start doing it, you're just so excited. So we offer hands-on training. I said that. So our teams, for the teams and for the Copilot, and that helps you save time with improving on your outcomes. So the training includes like real-world examples specific to each department, your administration, if you got police, public works, finance, and more. So all workflow design and automation is there to help you create your AI-powered workflows using the Copilot. The Power Automate, the Loop, and the SharePoint, they eliminate manual steps and streamline processes such as approvals, documentations, reporting, and communication. We also do ongoing support and governance. So we stay with you beyond deployment, offering continuous optimization. So we monitor your cybersecurity. We do quite a bit. So I think you guys know a whole lot about Microsoft. So I'm gonna see if I can share my screen here. Do I have to ask permission? Zoom is not what I currently use.
I only show you on as a phone, not as a computer. So I'm not able to.
Okay, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, because I'm talking. I'm using my phone because I dropped my headset and stuff behind, and I didn't feel like I wanted to be on time for the call. So
Okay.
I am on my desk. I'm literally on my desktop, but I called in on the phone.
Okay, hold on. Let me see.
I see.
Let me see what I can
See
do.
if I can. Let me see
Yeah,
where Carl is, because
You should
I
be
think he
able
really.
to show your presentation.
My screen.
I just
Okay, hold on,
made
let's
you
see.
a co-host, so you should have the share option now.
Yeah,
Okay, and let me see if I can get my face here. See if I
Yeah.
can get my face. I'm gonna say enable. That should work. Let's see. Okay. Let me share my screen. Share. It's only gonna let me share one screen, and I never saw that with anything before, but that's okay. I'm gonna share it. Okay, you're gonna see my email, and I'm gonna exit that.
Okay. We can see it now, Gabby.
You can see it. Okay.
Yes. Mhm.
So here's Copilot. So there's a few things it can do. The thing is I'm not sure if I can open up I can't leave my box that I'm in, and it only happened once we started this call. So this is Copilot. You can ask it to improve anything. Another thing is, let me see where I'm on. Am I on? This is work. Okay. So this is work. This is the web. Whatever you've done in Copilot, you can literally click here and find all of the different prompts of work that you've done, and it'll pull it up. So that's just one thing. This is web. I use the web mostly because sometimes where I'm researching clients, say there's a client that I need to know about before I call them, and someone calls me and says, "Hey, Gabby, we need you to speak to let's just do NJ International." Okay. Tell me about this company. You don't have to, if you're typing fast, it's okay. They'll fix it. On the web.
Gabby, just so you know, Carl is now on the call.
Oh, he's on? Okay.
Yes.
Oh, Carl, you want to take over?
No,
I'll
it's
just
okay. Oh,
finish
there
this.
we go. I got video.
Okay.
That's not
I'll
working,
just
right?
finish this story. Yeah. We're all friends here, Carl. I had a little bit of problems getting on too. I think a couple people, but you know what? We're all having fun here.
Cool.
So one of the things is, so I got a client, say SJ International. Oh my God. They're like, can you call them in 5 minutes? You need to talk to them. What do you think about this company? Right? But there's a million SJ Internationals. So I would, SJ International, New York. Bing, 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 bing. Let's see what happens here. Do we know it's in New York? Okay. This is it. Brokers. You wanna know about the company. You wanna learn what they're doing. Sometimes I even, if I'm lost or something on the web, I want to know something about America. Yep, and that's right, right? So these are things that, you don't have time. Copilot can do it. Another thing I really wanted to show you, but because I don't think I can. See, from my desktop, let me look really quickly. Let's see if I can do it. Let's go to me. You're going to see I got a lot of stuff going on here. So I want to show you this one thing because I think this is really good. A lot of people need help writing bids. They need help with things like that. I'm going to see if I can drag. Because a lot of people you get a bid. Somebody sent you something and you like, I got 20 minutes and my day ends. My wife is calling me. I got to get out of here. I can't. I don't have time for this, right? So I'm going to drop just something that we never did before in here. I just dragged that in here. And I'm going to say, please give me executive overview. document. This is with anything. You can call stuff out. Is it really in here that Joe pulled out this? You could take a legal document and you can say, did they change? You signed, you sent it back to them. They sent it back to you signed. You can say, you can drop it in here and say, compare the two. Was anything changed before they sent it back to me for signature? You know what I mean? You can do that and it'll pull out all the different things that were changed, if anything was changed. But that's just me. I'll check those types of things. So, I mean, this tells you what this RFP was for Haddon, right? And it kind of gives you line items of what they're looking for. And if they're looking for certain things, then this is professional services. In most cases, they're not doing anything that eMazzanti would do, which is the reason why it was sitting where it was sitting in my box, right? So is this. It doesn't just work here. It works in your Excel. It works in your It works in your PowerPoint. It can create PowerPoints for you. You can act it for a meeting like this. You can take the it actually does the meeting notes. Our Copilot, when we use our Teams meeting, it actually, you record the meeting and it gives you a full agenda. Tells you what was talked about, who said what needs to be done, what are the last steps that I need, what is expected of me, John, what is expected of me, Edward, what is expected of me, James, what do I need to do? So I'll go ahead and give it to Carl because he'll have ability to show his full screen.
You are doing awesome, and I know, Gabby, you're such a raving fan.
Yeah, I love Copilot.
We've got a good couple of people here. Do we want to get started? And I'll absolutely consume the 3 minutes. Oh, look at that here. Is that okay, John?
Yes, sure.
Okay, awesome. I am share screen here. Let's see which one it is. Okay, here. Let's see. Did it start sharing the screen?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm following on Gabby's comments here, and it was just really been like 10 years for automation, 3 years for adding intelligence to ways we can help municipalities either fight the 2% cap or keep their budgets the same. Like in Morris, it's amazing that there's been no tax increases, but really the pivotal moment here is the fact that there is digital labor in a way that hasn't been around in some period of time. So I'm going to give a couple, and I'm sharing the slides. Contact details here. I'm happy to post in. I don't know, John, can you email out my deck afterwards? Can you get my deck out to everyone? Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
I always like to give just a few seconds about eMazzanti, and I'm going to be very hyper fast with this because I want to run kind of a tabletop where we have some good open dialogue about everyone who's here. Red dots are where we have 10 customers or more, so large geographic coverage. And then I'll say, here are some of the offices. In the state of New Jersey, we have 2 offices here in Hoboken, really because the firm has gotten so large. I wanted to have more space, but we're all over the state of New Jersey, so super happy to dispatch at a moment's notice. And then the other offices help us do a follow the sun IT support. In Hoboken, there's only 16 and a half hours where there's not someone physically here that can get some assistance. And those are really Saturday night at midnight to 8 a.m. on Sunday, and then 5 p.m. on Sunday to midnight. Those are the hours that seems to be no one needs to come in, so we just don't staff it anymore. Okay. Well, I will say as I'm running through this is everyone can read. So I'm going to talk about the things that are not here. And then for me as a speaker, while all of us are IT people and we're super shy, if besides just John, some can come on camera. It'll tell me what your interest level is in the things that I'm getting, and give me some feedback as a speaker. I really would like to make this an open dialogue. So raising your hands, putting stuff in chat, however you want to get my attention, I'm happy to do it. And then because me and John had some time earlier this morning, I added some slides specifically to address some of his interests, and I plan on doing that. And again, because I know you can read, I'm going to talk about the things that are not on the screen, and then I'm going to roll through these. So while on the screen here, it talks about what Palm Beach, Florida was able to do, I'm going to say this for my own office. At eMazzanti Technologies, we doubled our revenue without adding a single employee. So I'll let that set in for a second. We doubled our revenue without adding a single employee. And we added a whole bunch of tools. We've invested in automation of processes. We're spending in lots of different ways the organization. So I can't say that much flew down to the bottom, but we have absolutely increased our productivity, and I stand here ready to talk about it. And Gabby, who's on the phone and was going through her love of some of the automation components, and do that. As I will talk about how automation or AI items can help, I always try and balance it out with some sort of concept around some cybersecurity items. So I'm gonna talk about some mistakes that I made at eMazzanti, and then pass those along to you. Well, I was a super early adopter of Copilot, and something I did not consider. So this isn't specifically about ransomware. I'm going to give an example about eMazzanti. So 3 years ago, when I deployed AI at eMazzanti and was a very early adopter, I had not done sensitivity tags or segmenting out access components of information of our own data. And I was sitting in the conference room running a tool against our data set, and I asked some questions with staff sitting in front of me, and when it answered and it displayed it on the screen, it gave out some really sensitive information that I made a mistake on. So I will say things that I made mistakes on, and you all learn from it, and this is like kind of the reasons why the coffee talk is sensitivity tags are a really important item. It's worth taking the time and effort to do that. If you didn't segment out your SharePoint or other data into different groups you should have access to, you should do that. And I will tell you that Microsoft has automated some of those corrals of access of information that people have, but it's not perfect. This slide, and why I've left it open so long, is that the tools out there, because they could read your entire mailbox in a few minutes, they've learned it all, they have it indexed, and they can answer it. So even if they don't have access to Edwards, who's on the call, David, James, Robert, you might have reset your password, you redid your MFA, and you logged it out of all the sessions. Once AI has read your mailbox, it has your way of speaking. It knows all your history. It knows how you interact. It knows how you might compose something, and it doesn't go away. So these examples of Atlanta, Baltimore, and some of the other ones that have taken place, the tools are so good with targeting. They can go direct to someone, act like it's one of you, and are getting past our traditional set of tools. I am going to keep going on here. Okay. I'll say this is kind of two problems. Your councilmen, your mayors, your BAs, the people at the top are looking for ways to always reduce cost or fight cost. That's their top motivation component, right? And some are smart and they do enhancement to constituent services. some of the elected officials, they run that way. We're going to, improve our police performance. We're going to, clean up our area. We're going to, address some of the homeless scenarios. Like they talk about different constituent services. Some run that way. Some it's about cost reduction. I found that in municipal space or government space, some of the higher ups are on board, but it has been tough for the adoption for the middle, for whatever those components are. Some of the groups, and I'd say like some percentage of them have started to use the tools, whether you're supporting it or not. They're using ChatGPT. There's at their iPhone that has it themselves. They started to consume it that way. The comment on who are your supporters is not always transparent when you're walking around your office. You know, I'm not 100% sure how you find your friend. Oh, you know what? Here's a way. John, you're the only one who's on camera at the moment. Have you ever looked at your outbound DNS reports to see what AI tools your Morris County is using?
Not in particular. We
Okay.
have talked to our cybersecurity provider, Checkpoint. They have tools that can do what you're mentioning. Also within Copilot, there is reporting capabilities.
Yep. See who's using it or who's a
that
good fit.
you can
Exactly
look
correct.
at to
Yep.
see what other AI services are being used in my community. There are reports that it will provide where you can glean that information from.
Okay. I reference this concept of DNS because every AI tool inside of your environment, the compute is not local currently.
Mhm.
All the AI tools require access to the cloud. And if you try and open up Copilot on your laptop to use it and there's no internet connection, it will immediately tell you there's no internet. All of them rely on the cloud. So if you use outbound DNS, and your outbound DNS, you can lock to users, you would know by user who's using what tools.
Mhm.
That may be a great way to know who are your friends in the journey and who are not. Who and what are the tools that people are already using that you might empower, or what are the because your own user base is voting on what they like. And they've already started adopting. If you haven't adopted and made it available to them, they're already doing it. If it's unclear to everyone how to use DNS to do that, I most certainly would be happy to show you how we could get all your outbound DNS for a short period of time to go to like an OpenAI, not OpenAI. I'm so sorry. I meant OpenDNS. They put open. I just thought of AI at the moment, but OpenDNS, which is now Cisco Umbrella. We could run it through there, give the portal, and it would show the list of all the items. It wouldn't tell you the user counts. You'd have to use something internally to do the redirects internally to something that would aggregate that. And by the way, that's free. There's not a necessarily cost for that. All right, I'll take a few seconds on that. I'm leaving this here for a second. It doesn't matter what industry I sit with. Yesterday, I met with a manufacturer. Then right after that manufacturer, I sat with a police department in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Both of them said the same thing. The costs have just gone up so much. When I was with the police officer, had to pay for his own lunch. We went and I spent hours at his place, probably 5 or 6 hours at the venue. And he was complaining about the fact that the lunch for himself was 2 or 3 times the cost of what it was because he had been an officer in that town for 16 to 18 years and had generally been going to the same place over and over again. The technology is one of the few items where we can turn around and we control this. We could use technology to reduce some costs. one of the few spots in the municipality space that you can do that. Okay, let's go through some actionable stuff that we can do. I have had so many conversations with those on this call about, hey Carl, you're talking about Copilot, you're talking about Gemini or this or that, and it's great that you're covering all these concepts of how we could use it, but unless I can show an ROI, I'm not going to do it. So the top converting item I've been able to do with municipalities is to take some sort of packaged item and say, here's a packaged item that has a definitive result, and we could do this and you get out that. Okay, let's go through some real simple ones. In 2019, 2020 was Autopilot from Microsoft, right? Because everyone on this call is running Microsoft. Autopilot does the onboarding, recycling of a system, and offboarding, and it automates the hell out of it. Every single person on here is doing some sort of help desk activities where a new user shows up. You need hours and hours to get the system set up, deploy it out to them. You have to do things like getting their cell phone numbers to get MFA, deciding what applications they're going to get, add the printers that they use, like add them to the right groups and distribution groups. And it happens every January across for sure for everyone. For some, it's June 30th or July. But there are big upticks in net new users that take place every year. It's a packageable item, guaranteed ROI. You know what the cost structure is going to be, and you absolutely know what the hours impact would be. And we can do the math in an Excel sheet on all the user setups that takes place. I give that as an example because the ROI is so clear. The other item I would say is the painful repetitive tasks that you do over and over again. Those are like your next spot. You know, I think those two for targeting are great. Let's go to this. I'm going to talk about the constituent queries. Does anyone here have constituent services that is fielding questions like in the county? And John, you're the only one on video here, so I would love to if at least you would give me some of this. Do you have someone that answers like, here's when the parade's going to be, here's the memorial this, here is maybe there's a telephone operator that answers calls. Do you have something like that?
Yeah, we have a digital communications group, which is
Okay.
a public information group.
Yep.
That does respond to those kinds of queries. Yes.
Are they doing that over? It sounds like they might be doing it over email, but heavily over website items, like frequently asked questions or postings.
Both. They get them via the county website. They get them via email, and they also get them via phone call. So they get them from a few different venues, but they get those questions on a regular basis. Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm going to give you a real-time deployment that we did for a municipality. Even a municipality where the mayor, it's almost coming on 30 years, wanted everything to be answered by a phone call. And I don't know the name of the person that was sitting there, she announced her retirement. You know, that she knew, here's the day, here's the month, I knew exactly when I hit my milestone, and I'm out. And the question that came back was this person knew, where all the dead bodies were. Knew where like all the information was inside of the town, and they weren't sure they could hire someone like that ever again. That would be comfortable answering a call, would know all the stuff in the different departments, and would have been around for so long. So one of the first things we did is we deployed just a $10 a month chat bot that would answer questions in the town, and she started to use it herself. So, people would call in, she'd answer it, she'd have the little bot, she'd ask the bot the questions. The bot was getting better and better at answering them, and then she would verbalize it to the person on the phone. Or her office or desk is right when you'd walk up the main entrance on the left. So people would see her too. But she would use that to ask the questions and answer them. And then other people inside of the municipality started to use the same tool, right? Because it was only $10 a month for a chatbot from Microsoft. Well, the item that we've done this year is we're voice enabling that bot, and we're doing that because I don't remember what the exact date is, but it's this year where it's her last day. The plan is that this bot right now it's only operating at $10 a month. The voice enabling I think adds $200 and something more. It's had a little over a year to learn how they answer questions in their municipality. I think the belief is that they're just not going to replace her. They're going to have the bot answer the calls and have the cheeky dialogue like this person did for all that period of time. And, for the end users, they may not know that. Can we do a quick show of hands or something? Is there some way to vote on this or poll them that say, has anyone spoken to an AI person?
Everybody does have a feature. They can raise hands or do some type of reaction. Yes.
I have a little demo of our Emma. I could show this now, like I plan on doing that when I was going through. I could show this now of Emma. Here, let me thanks, John, for the thumbs up. Let me, I think that might be jumping a little bit ahead here. I have, where did I do that? Here you go. Always nice.
I did mention Emma to the group, Carl.
Okay.
They know it's a eMazzanti homegrown capability.
Yep.
And Carl, I'm just going to interrupt for 1 second to let you know you have about 15 to 17 minutes left. So we want to make sure we have time for questions because I know we started late, so I'm planning on ending about 10:05. But just want you to be aware of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let me see if I. Well, I'll give some quick background. So, I did 3 generations paid for by eMazzanti at almost a 7-figure spend before we threw out our own first generation AI agent. It started out with web interaction inside of Teams. We deployed it in Teams to a whole bunch of our customers and got through 3 generations before I partnered up with someone else that was really better at some development items. Here, and I'll show the screen. We then put our 4th generation on our phone system, and it was called Tom. Our 4th generation was called Tom. Tom would answer the calls, help with ticketing, and light ticket access. Really, it was the item, and then we were tracking the metrics. One of the things we found is people calling in. We did A and B testings with a guy or a girl, and the girl got less hangups than the guy. So we gave Tom a sex change, became Emma. Then the next thing that we found is we did lots of different voice samplings for the different voices. So Emma now has a British accent. We tried to run through the different ones, and really what it was based on hangups. We would do A, B, and testing, and we'd see how many different hangups. I actually don't know. Can we add a phone number in on this? Do you have a way to do that? You want a participant?
Yeah, you could do it in a chat, or it's appearing. Is that the phone number, Carl?
Yeah. Like, can we dial that in?
Could you dial that number? Yeah.
How do I dial that number in this?
Oh,
You can't dial it through Teams. You would have
you
to use a
can't
desk
dial it
phone
through
with a
Teams. You'd have,
speaker.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It's
On
Bob's.
on this call, could we dial the number?
You could dial it on a phone, a conference call phone, and have it, pipe into the meeting.
Okay. Um,
If you
well,
want me to dial it, I could dial it on a speaker call.
I mean, I know we're down to 10 minutes. Why don't we leave it as a homework assignment for everyone?
Okay.
If you dial that number,
That's the phone number to Emma.
it is the direct dial number to Emma. It's an
Okay.
unpublished item. That's the back door to our Emma. Uh, Emma's going to ask you what you've tried. It's going to ask you where you're calling from. John, you're in our directory, so if you're, I don't know if we have a DID for you or just Morris
Uh-huh.
County, but it will go through our database and tag who you are. It'll learn who you are to do voice prints. So for future ones, it'll associate to you, and then it opens up tickets and it'll follow up and it can do frontline support requests. I give that as an item because we doubled our revenue without having to add staff and or arguables about the staff. There's some people that are in some different roles and the like, but the only way we could do things is we automated a whole bunch of stuff in our environment, and this one is so inexpensive that it is a great one to put a frontline help desk answering a call that does all the normal things like, what have you tried? Is this about an existing item? Do you need to open up a new one? Is it urgent? You need someone, a live operator. The AI tool for our environment will stay on the call while you do troubleshooting with one of the engineers, and it documents the whole item out with customer sentiment, and it gives feedback to our engineers live about things that they should be trying from our own knowledge base or that customer. It's amazing. That was our fourth generation. The fifth one added SMS. The sixth one added Teams chat. So you can now interact with Emma from your cell phone while you're sitting on a plane. You could be in Teams wherever you are at the moment and start asking questions. It's an amazing evolution and just keeps getting better. I want to open up some stuff to conversations or questions because I know we're closer to our time, and I'm sorry I had 9:30 to 10:30, so I thought it wasn't 9 to 10. I thought
No,
it was.
it's 9 to 10. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, so sorry about that. That's why I
Okay.
came in close to 9:30 because
The other thing about Emma, it's going to be eMazzanti specific, so it may
Oh,
not be able to answer
it's
a call.
oh yeah. It's not gonna be able to answer a ton of stuff because, well, if it can't
Right.
validate you, it will not go through any information. You know what
Okay.
I mean?
So
So
it couldn't answer specific questions about Morris County. It would be eMazzanti
well,
or general.
oh, what if Emma has the ability to do validation of the user, Emma's knowledge base enhances. If not, it treats you like a casual unknown caller. That was one of the core designs of Emma. Um,
Mhm.
so, John, if you applied this to your own organization, if you made Emma a virtual employee of Morris County, your version of it, maybe I had told you we should call it Morris, right? Like Morris the cat or whatever. We should create this AI agent should just be called Morris. So when you called in, you speak to Morris. Well, in this case, so you called in, you spoke to Morris. If you're calling from a phone number inside of Morris County and it was in one of the approved, then it's going to use a certain knowledge set. And then we could segment out the numbers that said this is the finance department, this is this department. If they were dialing from one of those internal ones, they would get that segment of knowledge that would relate to that department. So does it relate to tax? Does it relate to water and sewage? Does it relate to police? And it can answer questions associated to that.
Okay. Yeah, we'd have to interface it to the Morris County databases that have that
Yeah,
information.
whatever you wanted to train it on. The
Exactly.
It's built on Microsoft Copilot, so
Uh,
it respects sensitivity tags. It stays inside of your own tenant. None of the items leave your environment. There is a verbal dialogue that goes back and forth. You can do the routing. You can change the different names. So like right now, we've decided to leave ours with just Emma, but Emma could change names on each call. That way, they don't feel like they're getting the same one over and over again. Or you could create one based on department. So maybe you call Fido for the finance department, and Morris for the general overall. Um, you can adjust it.
At this point, Carl, I would open it up for questions because you
Yep,
got about
please
5
do.
minutes left.
Let me. I'm gonna leave one other. By the way, please start asking questions, and I was gonna go to this.
Yeah, people raise their hand.
Are we going to get provided the slide deck afterwards? I'd like to review it again.
All yours, Robert. And the second thing, what I'm offering
Thank you.
here. So other GMS members have told me that they go to coffee talks, you go to the main events, and we all present and talk about a bunch of different eyes, but there's no actionable items. So Robert, one of the items I'm offering today is I'll come out, give you 2 hours. We go through whatever it is you want as a positive output, and I will sit with whoever you want inside of your organization, and we will produce the results. Whatever you want to produce. Things I highlighted today is we could use outbound DNS and say, here's what people are already using. We could, I mean, probably in 15 minutes to 30 minutes, I could deploy your first chatbot, based off of, Azure AI. You choose whatever the thing you want, and I'll assure that you, in 2026, you got some accomplishment that you walked away with something you could do. You could show people that you accomplished it.
Okay.
What's the next question besides access to the deck?
Any other questions specific to AI?
Hey, Carl, I would say that a lot of us are using the free versions, right? Due to monetary restrictions.
Yep.
Besides putting stuff out there, and I know you need to be very careful with what you're putting out there, why do we need to go to a paid version if we're getting results from a free version that are pretty comparable from what I've seen across the board? Now, again, I guess the next option is too, if there's people within an organization who may want to pay for a license on their own, can they do that to get those benefits, even if their tenant is the town's 365 environment?
First I'll talk about schools. So in schools, for the longest time, if a teacher wanted to do something, like they were going to run a project, they went to Staples, they bought their own paper and artifacts and whatever else, and they brought that in, and they paid for that out of their own pocket. So the example of being able to go and get your own Copilot license and pay for your own Copilot license in a municipal environment is best shown by teachers for the last 50 years. They bought their own school supplies for their own classrooms. So in your ask about, as a municipal employee, if the municipality allows that, I think that there would be good arguments based on schools doing that already in the United States, about the teacher goes and shells out their own funds for the tool. The municipality would have to accept that, like a Copilot or a OpenAI would be allowed in the environment, and that governance would facilitate that for the employee to be able to spend $1 a day or $360, for that tool or something around that, to use the municipality. Does that answer the question of, is there a functional way to be able to allow a municipal employee to go get their own tool to work in their own tenant? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. That's by far, I think, the best one I've seen. And I'm sure there's lots of other arguments. Okay, the next one that you mentioned was why if the free would we ever pay? I think that is the crux of your second question. In the free scenario, it only knows what you've taught it, and you are alone. When you're teaching your tool how to do something, it's not learning the GMIS way. It's not learning the Morris County way. And you're the only trainer. And the only access it has is to what you're giving it, or you've been feeding it along the way. When you look at a Copilot and there's uploads into SharePoint, or it's using your Excel, it's reading your Outlook, it's already learning your way of doing things, and it's being taught, but not only by you, but also by the community of the organization that you're in. So the paid for versions that sit inside of your tenant is way, way, way more advanced, because it's being taught by everyone in the organization, or everyone has access to the items, versus the individual on a separated platform with a very limited scope.
Okay, thank you.
Got it. What's our next one?
Any other questions?
Yashira and James, you've been so quiet. Or Edward, you have one for me?
And it's not even Monday. And
I know. You're
usually by Thursday, most people wake up.
I'm gonna do
wide
this.
awake. I just don't have any questions right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I would say, Robert, I offered this item to you that I'd be happy to come out. I'd be happy to come out. If you want to post out like, hey, here are the good times for me, I'll map around that.
Yeah, I want to wrap my head around, right? Because I heard you with that 2 hours, and I'm definitely interested, but I want to wrap my head around what I want to spend that 2 hours on, and I don't know.
Sure.
That.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, if we need to do two of them, I'll do two of them. You know what I mean? I just I know sometimes you leave these and you just don't know. Like, hey, I invested some. I need to do something about it. I mean, I'm happy to do the dialogue, especially if you have cookies. Love cookies. My name starts with C. I'm happy to be bribed.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know as an output we owe you the deck. Let me just put my.
If you get the deck to me, I'll get it. I'll get it out to everybody, Carl.
And then what I was going to do is I was going to put my just the contact details here. People want to take a second and just.
Yes. Yeah, and put them in the deck. So.
Oh yeah, let me do
Yeah,
that.
you have it in the deck, so that's good.
Here, we'll do that. Here it is in the chat. And the real direct dial is that 4410, and my mobile's 808-797-1448. Those are the three best. The email for sure instantaneously will get my attention. The direct dial rings, Teams, phone, cell, everything, and then I give the cell in case people want to text.
Okay.
Thank you for the time today. Yeah.
Oh, you're welcome, Carl, and thank you for the presentation.
You got it.
Anybody else have anything before we conclude? Not seeing any. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Remember the GMIS Tech Conference coming up in April. We have a new venue that'll be in the Princeton area at the Crown Plaza. It's a bigger venue. It should be a more exciting conference. So if you've been to them previously at the Palace in Somerset, I think you'll find this one even better than the ones you've attended previously. So if you haven't, sign up for that, and everyone's welcome.
Thank you, everybody.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Carl.